5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live with Neve.
All right. Happy Friday, everybody. Starting with a kind of a low and subdued tone today. Think of it as NPR, Neil Public Radio. We're going to keep things real cool and toned down and get all you hip cats. Now, that's like an old 70s A&R voice. So today we've got all kinds of nifty new news. First off, happy Friday to everybody. And to all you mothers out there who've had children, to my mom for being such a great mom, supporting me in all my endeavors throughout life, music, whatever I've ever gotten into, she's always told me to go and do it. I'm thankful for that. Love you, Ma. Thank you very much for all the help and belief and faith and all that good stuff. And here's my lovely and talented sidekick. She's just sneaking in the back door. She's got that look in her eye already, so we don't know what's going to be happening. But yeah, it's all these mothers. In fact, I've got to bring on my number one mother on the show.
Hey!
How are you, Mandy? What's happening?
I'm flying by the seat of my pants. Why do I have an echo? I think it's myself.
Maybe because I don't have headphones on.
Oh,
I
shit.
bet that's why. Let's see what happens.
We're discombobulated.
Yeah, it happens. Let's see. Okay. We'll get out of the external. Now I hear you. I can hear you breathing. Can you hear that?
Yeah, no, seriously. Yep. It's been that sort of day. When am I ever late? I'm usually like a couple minutes early. But
you're usually a couple minutes early. I'm not worried. I'm not going to beat you or anything.
No, I chased a lot of kids today. It was a nice day out, and people are running wild.
Yeah, it's. I can bet I do well with like my grandkids and kids I like that are family, but God, when there's a whole pack of them, I kind of start losing it. It's just like,
oh yeah.
Or I'll just join in and regress down to my proper age level, which I think is somewhere between 12 and 15.
That's my MO. That's my MO too. Maybe that's what it is. That's the secret bond. Yeah, that's exactly it.
I mean, I haven't seen you haven't sued me for sexual harassment yet, so that's a good thing.
No.
So, no. No, it's funny because when we first had you on, like when you were, a long time ago.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, I had my partner at the time on the show, and I was like, in the back of my head, I was like, this chick's pretty funny. I think we could work with her. And I called you up later when things got weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been fun for sure, and you've got lots of gigs coming up, and that's a cool thing.
Yeah.
I have another agent that hopefully you guys aren't booked on the night. The studio has a multi-band metal fest coming up. It's in June. I have some of the info, but it's too early. Nobody will remember it by the time June comes around. So the week before it, but I'll get you the date, and we'll go down and give out some swag, throw a hat or two out, and hang out with some metal bands. But what I was really thinking was to get you involved with the agent who's booking this whole thing, because
that's right.
That guy is a good booking agent. And,
that's what we need. It's time. We were just discussing that this weekend, like this past weekend, because like we have 4 weekends in a row, like things will start to like snowball for a bit, you know, and then we're like, now's the time. We have to build our team,
It's interesting because you're playing up in Wayne, which I lived in Wayne for several years, and it's just a small world. When I moved to Florida, I never thought that I'd just be moving back to New Jersey, and now like I've got friends all over again, and I love this
isn't that funny?
It really is a great place. I know that people like to rag on it, but other than our politicians, but the way I've seen it, politicians just suck no matter where they are, who they are.
Yeah,
really,
that's true.
I mean,
That's
even
true.
if you like the guys, if you had to hang out with them for a week, I don't care if you could be a big righty or a lefty. If you had to hang around with one of these shit weasels with their aides, you've never seen such a collection of brown nosers in your life.
Yeah,
And
it's dumb.
it's the Lord of the Flies shit too, because you get band. It's like in a band where you got two leaders who are trying to kill each other, and you know, and they have that. You have a leadership. There's nobody who's the boss, but there's two guys fighting for it. Inevitably, one of them is going to kill and eat the other one. It's natural.
Well, yeah.
I mean, somebody's got to come out and win, or you'll just limp along like a three-legged dog, and it'll feel all. I hate it when in your band and it starts feeling all hinky, and you're like, oh man, I wish these two assholes would quit. It's
Yeah,
like,
you know, I am so lucky to not have that right now. It is
That's
like
great.
it's like a small miracle to get 4 people in a room who like it just works out. You know, I'm not hard to work with, but I really don't deal with bullshit too well. So it's like when I'm up front and like, nah, you know, like it's not me being like, you know, bitchy or anything, but you know what, get the fuck out.
oh, listen, man, when people don't cut it and it's worse. Like, I don't mind if somebody just says to me, look, this isn't working out. You know, I don't dig it. And then they give you, like they say, I'll give you a 2 weeks notice or a week's notice. But over the years, you know, it happens. Most people are pretty good in the music business. I've not been screwed. But I've had a few good friends, like, bail out on 6 weeks of work right before you're ready to do it. And it's if you wanted to stay friends, just give me 2 weeks. But you know, when I got that thrown at me the last time, I had a week to put a band together. And all I can say is, it ain't bragging when you can do it. I hired some two young guys who I'm still friends with.
Oh yeah, I remember you talking about them before.
Yeah, and I kind of, they were scared to death of our show. But we had a lot of fun with them.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it just worked out, you know. It's like I'm stubborn as a mule. You tell me I'm not going to get booked because somebody's quitting. I'm like, I don't care. I'll learn another 30 songs. It's like,
that's what I just went through. Remember with that? All right. So with listen, we call this guy douchebag. All right.
Was that his given name at birth?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes though, in his defense, like if a parent names you douchebag, you only have one way to go. So it's like, you know.
That's like naming your kid Sue. That there used to be a song about it that was, you know, about naming your
Boy
son
named
Sue.
Sue.
But great song. I mean, I remember that from my childhood. And you and I don't know, I have about 20 years on you, but you know, we're still musically, we seem to listen to a lot of the same stuff. And I mean,
shit's good shit.
Well, you know, that's it. And you having a big band background is cool because people don't appreciate how cool it is when you have a whole horn section behind you. Yeah. I mean, that's just like hard to beat. And I've played with some great keyboard players with some wicked MIDI rigs, but you got 3 or 4 horn players up there. It's like
a wall of sound.
And you can
it's
kick off
bananas.
Them, you know?
Yeah.
I like kind of booting the horn section.
Yeah.
And I'm like hitting on those hits with them, and it just sounds so cool. Gets me all goosebumpy, man. I tell you, and that happens.
The jamming out. Yeah.
It's like sometimes it's just the stars are right, man, and the whole horn section's on, and the band's kicking. It's just the best feeling in the world I can think of. Almost one of the best, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I still really haven't found anything that I wanted to do that much my whole life. Oh, I figure I've got. I'll be 62 in September, so I figure I've got at least 40 to 50 years. My family's all lived to be 100. And, you know, I figure I'm going to be, you know, I'm going to not buy a motorcycle. I'm going to do some of the things that I normally would do. But now that I'm 60 and I realize, well, if I fall down, which if you have a bike, you are going to fall down sooner or later. And I just don't like the recovery time, man, you know? It's like that shoulder.
It's not worth the risk. It's
2
not
years
worth the
ago,
risk. No.
I mean, it's like I love to go skiing too, but I was just thinking about it. I could just see myself going skiing, falling down and screwing up my shoulder, and I'd be like, why did I do this? I've gone skiing 1,000 times.
Yeah, it wasn't even worth it. It's not like
you were
really
hang gliding. Do I really need to do this now? No, I don't. I don't want to go through that again. That was like the most incredible pain I've ever experienced. You know, just the thought of going out. I've been looking at those motorized bicycles. Same thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah. Because I know if you have a motorcycle, even people fucking run you over. They don't see you, or some people are just dicks. They see you on a bike.
I'm sorry, but
they cut you off. It's New Jersey, man. You got.
I was gonna say, yeah, New Jersey isn't known for like their driving, you know?
You know what,
That's
though?
why it's not the good driving state.
I found that just by taking a gun and waving it up in the air, usually got them out of the way. But
yeah, but see, that's why you get in trouble. That's why you do things like get banned from Facebook. So maybe.
Oh, but that was such
maybe.
I've like, the funny thing in the whole ban with Facebook is, I mean, of all the things to ban me for, that was like so lame. I mean,
it was such a non-issue. Like, if you're like, really, you were offended over that, but what about?
I mean, here, I didn't want to say anything because they might like load their artificial intelligence.
Oh yeah, of course not.
Now they'll be watching for me. I've got Zuck's little ninjas, little tech.
Oh
ninjas.
shit! So now we have the Scientologists and Zuck's little shits.
You know what? I think from what I'm understanding, Twitter will be opening up a portal for artists and musicians at some point. And I think we're definitely going over to Twitter because it's like it's wide open, man. You can say what you want, you can do what you want.
Yeah.
It's a show for adults. Look, if you have kids and they're disturbed, or if you want to have them emotionally disturbed for life, have them watch our show for a couple of weeks. By the time they get done watching it, they'll want to sign up for my Neve Mandy custom training program.
Nice.
You'll win. Your son will learn to kick somebody's ass and not turn the other cheek. He will be taught such things as the ninja pinky grab to bring your big assailant to his knees in seconds.
Yeah.
Make him offer you his mother. I mean,
and I'd like to run the trash talking department. I'm like for the kids who like you'll get all the physical shit and then be like, now we're gonna work on your trash talking, you know?
Yeah, and like, remember, like if you're playing hockey and the guy checks you, you roll up, pull the hood over his head, fucking wail on him for a minute. Give him a good stick to the nuts, you know? Welcome to New Jersey, man. I love hockey. It's just, of all the sports, it's the only one where you just go out and somebody pisses you off, you go and pop them one, you know? And
yeah.
sometimes, like they say in that song, sometimes you just need a goon.
Yeah, exactly.
Know? Hit somebody.
No, fuck you! No, fuck you! No, fuck you!
Get the goon. That's a great sport if you think about it. I mean, it's up there. I like sports where you really got a chance of, like, these guys I went to the PBR bull riding, right? And there was actually PETA people of some kind, somebody pestering about animal rights and all this. And I looked at this poor little guy, you know, he's like 18, skinny, sunken little chest, godly unhealthy. I mean, just looked like he needed a good run around the block, you know, a little toughen him up, get him on a program, man. Yeah. Guy definitely needed it. And I just looked at him, and he's complaining, and like Sling Blade, this bull, like weighs 3,000 pounds. It's famous like 5 years ago. And I'm like, you don't get it, man. Physics clearly, and math is not your strong suit, I guess. But here, smoke this joint while I explain the way this works. You weigh approximately 80 pounds soaking wet. I'm going to fucking give you a pair of my boots to wear so you can actually get your feet in the stirrups. But you weigh 140 pounds, 50, soaking wet. That animal weighs 3,500 to 3,200 pounds. He's about 6 foot high at the shoulder, and he is pissed off at everybody, especially you little putz, because you're out there complaining that he's getting hurt.
Yeah.
When you see a Brazilian guy who's built like a tank hop on that thing, he's a little skinny fucker like me, but he's strong as a horse, and you see him stay on for 6 seconds, that's a sport, man. That's like being standing there with Mike Tyson beating you in the head, you know? Seriously. So I found it entertaining. You would have been
great in gladiator times.
Oh, man.
You would have loved that shit.
I think that's the way we should go back, man. I'd take over tomorrow. Go down to the Senate and just raise some hell. Give knives to everybody. We're going to fight it out.
Oh, my God.
That's the problem with American politics. We can't drink our beer from the skulls of our enemies. If we could get that back, we'd be fine. We'd be right on track.
Well, you know, some people deserve to have their asses kicked. I'm just saying, you know.
I'm going to tell you something. If New Jersey ran the country, we'd be broke for sure. But shit would run on time. We'd just get somebody else to pay for it. That's the New Jersey way. I love it. You know, I got to say, I appreciate a good scheme, and this one's been running for 200 or 300 years now. So, God, man. If Chris Christie had gotten elected, I joked that they were going to run a train from here. They already have a train down there. That's another story. I went on the walk to Washington with 1,000 politicians and sales weasels like myself. I shook 300 hands on that train in 5 hours. And And I can just tell you, there was a bar
That's a lot
train.
of germs. That's
It
a lot
was
of
like,
germs.
yeah, nowadays with this, you've been like, and this one guy I know, he showed up, I won't say, but he's a very high-powered person in New Jersey. And he shows up, I hadn't seen him in a while, and I see like two stunning 6'5", what to me look like some high-end hookers, some fine-looking ladies. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm calculating, I'm going, man, this guy's like out $2,500 or something for this little ride. He comes down, his hair is dyed black, it's kind of splotchy, he's fat, he's got the gold chain on. He was like, I can't imagine some woman like really digging him for the hot and sweaty. It's just, he's gross to look at, man. The guy, he comes down the train with these two hookers on his arm. And I looked at him and I just said, man, you wear it well, brother. He went on his way. And this guy, a lot of people know him. And he is a maniac. Being a rock and roll guy, I thought I'd partied hard, man. Nothing like these dudes. Hang around with a bunch of those. That was the most concentrated amount of drinking I've ever seen any human beings do, because all the lobbyists pay for the bar and they pay for the beer and the roast beef spreads. I did nothing.
Bananas.
From 6 a.m, we got up to Newark. We get on this train and they have a champagne brunch. There's guys with the hats on serving roast beef and ham. And everybody's drinking Bloody Marys. It's like 6 a.m. We're all stumbling around everybody's wanting coffee. No, we'd start drinking early. By the time that train got to Washington at 4 o'clock, the whole train was monster hammered. I saw a couple of the old governors were there. It was just like, it was a trip. And I'm sitting there. It was the most concentrated sales opportunity I have ever seen in my life. There was just everybody on the train, from the hookers to the politicians, were all on the make, including me, because I was there to get as many cards and sell as much shit as I could to the state of New Jersey. And it wasn't perfectly successful, but I did get a few deals out of it.
Nice.
The worst thing, though, is I did not know that if you're ever in D.C. and you're like I am, and you think, I'm going to buy some beer for everybody or some liquor for the table. I was sitting with a bunch of the junior league ladies, the League of Ladies tennis bracelet. Yes, I'm married to my husband. We take coffee enemas every morning together, and they're our two perfectly children. We do our yoga in the yard. We're just so much cooler than you are. I bleach my bunghole. They're just like those kind of people, It's just like, oh, man, this is New Jersey politics, man, at its best. At any rate, today is kind of a weird show because I was going to play hooky, and then when you reached out to me earlier, I thought, you don't really want to play hooky, because what are you going to do? You're going to be sitting here waiting for the girlfriend to come home, looking out. I don't do the boredom thing good at all. I'm like really restless right now. I'm like,
well, yeah, I always need to make sure I get mentally prepared, because I go pick up my son and then I come home and then it's like I have to like say to myself, I have 15 minutes to change my mindset.
Have a cup of tea or have a beer or whatever. I'll get you a bottle of liquor if it'll help you. I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, the 15 minutes is usually spent getting snacks and,
Well, I suggest snacks. I've got to. I'm right now having to go through a massive diet changeover, which I just think it sucks. But it's okay. I've faced bigger things than having some sucky food. Believe me.
Yeah.
Been to a Waffle House. I've probably been to every one between LA and New Jersey.
Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite Waffle House?
Oh no, just the ones that I used to go to when I was young down in Tampa.
Oh yeah.
There'd be like, fights would erupt in the middle of the night, and there'd be like other bands there, and we'd harass each other.
Oh yeah, like the after gig spots. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go down there and tell them. I'd be my
Denny's.
Charming self, You'd be like, hey man, you ever tune your guitar? I'd be like, they think I'm serious. I'm like, I'm just goofing on you, man. Relax. He's like, I got a Floyd Rose, man. Never goes out of tune. I'm like, I don't know, man. You're a couple semitones off on that G string, mate. I'm an agent provocateur.
That's how you make friends.
It is how you make friends. If you can't bust on somebody, they're not really your friend. You have to be able to goof on. And I always like it's got to have a semblance of truth. I mean, let me just ask you. Tell me about your bass player. Is he a big guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
And is he quiet?
Yeah and no.
He's not a talkative, Ray crazy guy like me, right?
No.
I know most bass players, they look at me with a look of deep concern and a furrowed brow. At that point, I'm like, ha ha ha, you on the front row? Welcome to the NFL, buddy.
Yeah.
Nothing like a good bass player, man.
No, I always get along with the bass players and the drummers, so it's very rare that, I have some old guitar player stories, but it's weird how different, different instruments have different, like,
well, the
personality
stereotypes are there,
yeah.
For a reason. It's like, I'll say it, singers, not all, but some definitely have a big head. But, I've said it before, too. You got to go out there and entertain for 4 hours. You better have a little moxie in your ass, because you're not going to get up there. I've never seen the Shrinking Violet walk up and go, hi, I'm going to play you a really shitty tune now. And,
yeah, exactly. And it's funny because even, like, before I have a gig, it's like I have to, like, remind myself, be like, all right, now it's different time. Now it's, like, in fuego,
Yes, it's
and
time
you have to flip the switch, and you can't walk around like that your whole life. You know how obnoxious is that? Like,
God,
it's like
why spend any part
do.
of life that you're sitting around and you're having to add to your misery? There's enough people out in the world causing us misery. I mean, people should, at least at a local level, I think people should. We've really gotten kind of crazy, and I am an old guy, but man, manners are good, way overdue for a comeback. I mean,
honestly, that's what getting, we were kind of touched on this about getting a band together, and this is what bothered me the most about my journey in the last bunch of years, all right, in New Jersey, is people do not have manners. Like, they don't.
Oh, no.
Just because you all know each other doesn't mean you're shit, it's like,
I tell you
talk.
what. It used to be, too, that people would get in a fight, like in my generation. But we wouldn't go back and shoot somebody. You get in a fight, somebody grabbed your girlfriend, you punch him in the mouth, but then you'd be friends with the guy. I mean,
that's true.
I had a guy in boarding school, he kicked my ass, kind of. It happened the way I looked at it was, he was going to kick my ass either way. I was just going to make sure that he went away hurting for a day or two. He's like, damn that son of a bitch, Yeah. And I told him when he did it, I said, you might win, but I'm going to make you feel me for at least a week, man. I'm going to fuck you up. And he threw me out of the chair and beat on me, and I was beating on him, and it was awful. And then the teacher came back in the room, and both him and I didn't want to get sent to detention or anything, so we just, like, his face is all red because I wrapped him pretty good. Got a tear in his eye, and I'm, like, looking like my hair is all crazed. I was, like, 16 or something. And all the kids in the class are laughing their ass off because as soon as I told him to fuck off, what happened was he went out to go smoke some weed somewhere. When he came back, the teacher had left. So we're just all in there study halling it. And when he came back in, I had gone over and taken the teacher's chair. Big desk. And I was sitting back with my foot on the desk. That's what was the bad problem. I learned something. You never
always had to be fucking around.
The guy came in and he goes, get your fuck. He goes, Neil? No, he said, Nail. He goes, Nail? Get the fuck out of that seat. And I looked at him, I said, sorry, dude. You hit the road, you've been gone 20 minutes, I got dibs on it. If I get up and decide to go to the men's room, you can have it, but I'm not going nowhere. And he told me, he came over, and he's like, you don't want to do this. And I looked at him, I said, no, I don't, but I'm not going to move. It's just not going to happen. And everybody in the room got quiet, and it got quieter. And I'm just sitting there looking at him. I know he's going to grab me. And sure enough, he did. He snatched me up, started pounding on me. And the chair was rolled back, so he kind of fell on top of me, and I rolled over on him with the chair on top of him and me. And I told him, knock it off, man. I'm not going to pound you.
Why?
And then about that time, I hear the guys going, the teacher's coming. Mr. LePan, he comes in, this doofus guidance counselor guy. He's like, what are you guys up to? And him and I are just standing there glaring at each other. I'm like, nothing. And then Paul's like, what are you looking at? I'm like, not much. It was just, he never swung at me ever again. We got to be really good friends and ended up being roommates at one point.
That's funny.
But it was funny, man. He was such a dick. But I knew if I didn't kind of tell him to bite it, I figured it would never end, man. You got to stop that stuff quick. I learned hard, If you move a lot, you learn when you might have to get a beating at the beginning, but you don't have to keep getting them. You just got to kind of... The new kid in town syndrome was definitely big, and... I don't know. I think the kids today have it even far harder than we did. It's just so wacky and weird out there. All these.
Yeah, it's really true. It's really
like such a smorgasbord of throw the dartboard and this could be my life.
Yeah. Even like the way people connect is like different because there are some people who just connect like via like technology, like which
is like
yeah.
I still
Yeah.
remember being kind of freaked out going on a date with somebody that I met on the internet, thinking, "Is this chick gonna murder me?" You know, you have no way of knowing. It's like gonna be one of those things you see on, I don't know, A&E, like, you know, wives with knives or girls who stab or something like this. It's like,
Yeah.
I've been lucky though. I haven't really met any chicks. I've had a couple of crazy girlfriends. I had a stalker once, but they never really got totally like crazed, like no bunny boiler type shit, you know.
Yeah, no, nothing like that.
I did have a
Nothing like
crazy
that.
one though, who would like follow the band around, and I eventually had to have her band at all the gigs.
No.
And then what happens is she shows up like 6 months later at a gig. When I saw her, I said, "Oh, great." I'm thinking, but she's out there with a friend, and I decided the best thing to do is just put this to rest before I start playing, because it would have been in my head all night. So I walk up to her and I go, hey Jade, what's up? Haven't seen you in a while." And I just looked at her and I said, "Are we cool? You know, I don't have to bend. We don't have to go through this." She goes, "Oh, yeah, I'm cool."
Yeah.
So this is a horrible story. My guitar player has the same sadistic and sinister sense of humor I do. So he obviously had spied my discomfort with her arriving.
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Oh, great. Not this shit again." You know, I'm like, it's throwing my mojo off. I guess I'll have to drink heavily, you know. So what does he do? He writes her a note. Puts a note and tells her to go to my room with the room number. I don't know this. I've been walking around. I'm walking around shaking hands and, you know, doing the rock, the hang thing. And then all of a sudden I look up. I felt uncomfortable, and I look over, and she was just sitting there like this. She looked like crazy ex-girlfriend material.
No!
And I knew when I looked at her that this was a weird situation. Like, I could just tell something had switched from when I walked by and said, "Hey, are we cool?" to, like, I know that look. And so I'm like, in my head, I'm going, what the fuck? I look over across the bar, and I see all my guys lined up, and they're sitting there, and Lee looks at me, and he waves at me, and he goes, "Fuck you." And then I realized what he did, and I had to go. She came back to the backstage area, and she like kind of jumped on me, and I'm like, "Oh, God, listen, we got to stop." You know, like, this is, I said, and she got really mad. She goes, "You know, what the fuck is up with you? You know, you send me this note." And I'm like, "What note?" Oh man, it was brutal. My guys really got me good. They definitely had some fun at my expense.
Holy shit.
That's that's part of life, you know. Every once in a while you're gonna win.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're gonna get slapped hard. I mean, that was that was one of those times that,
That's fucking crazy.
oh man, it was crazy as hell. And she was pretty nutty, but we had fun while it lasted. It was high on my entertainment scale back in those days. At least I didn't marry her.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That would have been bad. And I don't know. So let's see. I've got to earn a little money here for a minute. So let's just play. We definitely got to get our man Carlton on. First segment is the Carlton Wilkinson Sword Man.
Nice.
These guys can play it up. In fact, I've got the rest of his album. I don't know if you're listening out there today, Carlton, but I will definitely be. I'm going to put some new ads together for him. I'm just fucking bored with him. I'm not going to charge you either, Carlton. You're a good man. You paid, but I'm bored with the ad, and I want you to have a little more exposure. People get bored with that shit. And anybody who buys an ad from me today gets a free special. Yes, you get a Petri swab, and it's called the Mystery Petri Swab. You have to grow your own fungus at home and determine what it is. It could be psilocybin mushrooms, or it might be ass fungus, but whatever, you'll find out. And the winner gets an all-expense-paid trip to Paterson, New Jersey. You'll be staying at the Deadbeat Hotel, looking over the beautiful falls. You can go down to get some, recreational drug products down in the streets surrounding.
Excellent.
Have you ever been to Paterson?
Oh yeah, it's a shithole.
It's like, yeah. When I was a kid, I grew up in Haledon, man, just right north of it. And it was not a shithole back then, but
no,
I watched it change, man. There was a time my grandmother used to take me down to Paterson when it was still a destination for white people, we'll call it. And I was going to have a Christmas picture taken. Had my little suit on, I'm all duded up, thinking I'm, it's pretty snappy. Go get my pictures taken. And then we go to this Chinese restaurant. right around the corner. And in my life, I'd never been in a Chinese restaurant. I'd eaten Chinese food, but always takeout.
Yeah.
Well, these guys come out, they're wearing black pants, they got a cummerbund, white shirt all pressed to the nines. And they tell me that I pulled, when they brought the food and it was on the trays, that I pulled it up. I told my mom, when I get old, I'm going to be a Chinese waiter. And they all got a good kick out of that. For, I guess, 2 or 3 years, the nuns probably beat it out of me. You will not be a Chinese waiter. Smack! I say you got about 100 Hail Marys for that, you little shit. Oh, man. But, I don't know. It's just like we said. We're sitting here. Let's play an ad, and we'll be right back. You're live with Neve. Today is just halfway fuck around Friday. Be right.
There's some changes headed, like the Gulf Stream rising, like some gale that's been blowing off this wild bird island shore. And I can't say where, and I don't know when, but some old door's been opened in the restless shade. Poor man sagging cigarette takes the subway home. Rich man folding old regret steps on the rundown below.
I'm Neil from Live with Neve. We have an exciting connection for our veterans, country music fans, and there is something for everyone. Gone Country Hats at GoneCountryHats.com. That's right, we've partnered with Gone Country Hats at GoneCountryHats.com. See you soon.
Squeal like a pig, boy. All right. I heard some weird stuff in my headphones. Some kind of squealing pigs and weird.
It was a squealing pig. Yes, I was like, "What the actual fuck?" Like, I'm glad that was new to you too.
Let me tell you something. That is my notorious pig squeal. Which when shit's happening all around the studio, man. I don't know what's going on. Things are breaking. People are throwing rocks.
It's about right. It's
yeah,
about right.
You know,
it's about humanity.
This show is going to descend into madness at some point. It's just, it's that kind of Friday.
Yeah.
I feel it coming on. It's actually, let me think about it. My good friend Danny, Dr. Dan. I hope you have a great birthday. My friend Danny Clams Moriali is celebrating his 65th, I believe, today.
Nice. Happy birthday.
He's in good shape for an old bastard, I'll tell you.
Nice.
He's a handsome man, as they'd say. Him and his wife are some of the greatest folks I know. Nancy Kravis is my photographer friend, and he's been my guitar player in the band, just a long time bud. And we're going to go out and do something, I think, this weekend. He may not know about that, so we're just sharing it with him if he comes home and watches the show tonight.
Nice.
We hope you to see you tomorrow, Daniel. And it's also my friend who passed away 2 years ago, and it's his birthday this month, so that's kind of cool. We're going to go out and we've got a couple of beers sitting there for him.
Yeah.
Exactly. Have a Yungling at the table for him and play some of his music, and we'll have a good time. I miss the guy, I tell you. It's the hard thing about getting old, man. Just you see people start checking out around you. It's like, man, that's too early. Oh, God. But you know what? You can't do nothing about it, so just enjoy what you got. People sit around, they dither, and they whine, and they plead to the Lord. Oh, my God. He thinks you're a schmuck. Just do your life. Be a good person. Don't worry about it.
He thinks you're schmucks.
He does.
Yeah, just be
I mean, he's got people he's got like Charles Manson to deal with, He doesn't want time for these idiots. Seriously. Don't make it hard for the guy, I mean, I don't care what religion you are. If you really believe in some kind of a deity in the sky or whatever, if he's got all this omnipotent power, I don't know, man. I don't know why he'd want to go through the trouble with the good guys,
Yeah.
I've been told I'm a sinner for a lot of things I've done. Some of them were damn fun. What can I tell you? But
Well, I mean, there's bad, and then there's really bad.
Then there's good bad.
And then there's good bad.
Remember, as they say, sex is only dirty if done right. You know, I tell you. I mean, there was a woman who told me that. You know, I think it was like Mae West or something.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I thought it was fact. I thought it was.
It is fact. Nobody remembers the routine, like 28th time sex. It's like driving over the George Washington Bridge on a trapeze set while going through the 12 motions of Sard Dam or whatever. Now that's partying Kennedy style. Who are these people?
What was that?
That was some kind of a crowd laugh track that was really lame. How about this? This is called heavily synthesized moans. This is usually what I get when I get naked in front of somebody for the first time. Sounds like a didgeridoo, man. What the hell?
It does! That's crazy! That's the reptilian mating song!
Hello, children. We're going to have a nice day with Mandy, and we're going to be talking to the children. We're going to be
Hit
doing
right
a
into what we
Christmas
call
special.
jingle balls.
Yes, we do have jingle balls, actually. I think I have it here. Let's see if we have jingle balls. Hello, children. We're going to have some of Chef's salty-ass balls. Here's another favorite.
You can't stop him, he's the juggernaut. You can't stop this motherfucker. Holy shit balls, holy
It's got the proper Gregorian chant vibe going to it, you know? It's like Damien the Omen coming at you, hacking out with a knife or something.
This is nice.
I was talking to Dave Look this morning, and when you see this character I'm going to be playing, there is not a woman alive who's not going to hate me.
I read it. Yeah, he asked me to do the Sean part.
I think you're going to be the dyke, aren't you?
The Sean. Yeah, her name's Sean.
Okay,
I think, you know.
I have to read the script today, actually. It's a good thing to be doing.
But yeah, you're
gonna
right.
be fun.
You're right. It's funny.
My character was just like Dr. Evil, man. I mean,
yeah, you're right.
My
Nice.
role, I'm damn sure going to try hard to make my words really make you slime out. Like, I want girls going, oh, God, I'd never go out with this guy.
Oh, no.
He's just like, because it's funny, you know, because I'm a pretty agreeable guy normally.
No, you are. You get to, that's what it's.
It's kind of, you can
awesome.
get into your dark side a little bit,
Yeah,
you know. And really,
it's like, things that the total opposite of what you would normally do, you know.
And I'm working on it in my head, because I know that I'm prone to over-talking or scene stealing, you know. I'll just start, I ad-lib too much, so I'm going to really get the character to be like the opposite of what I ever do, because I'm really hired just to be myself, whatever. It's a book reading or any kind of acting crap, you know. I just do myself.
Yeah.
They want a slimy lawyer, they get me. It's like,
well, I can't act at all. Like, I was never into that. I'm horrible at it. Like, you know, I always make it looks like I'm goofing off, like, and then it winds up being like, you know, like I'm just like laughing my ass off, and like, fuck, you know. So it just.
Oh, hold on, I gotta see
work out.
something. What's this? Oh, great. Oh, by the way, I'm going to be going on the road for a little bit. I've got some dates from, let me think about it, from July till September. And for anybody who's out there watching, I won't give her name away yet, but it's somebody that we know and love. And I'll be playing drums and being the road manager or tour manager for the trip. So we're going to go out.
Excellent.
We're going to start off somewhere up in God's country, up in Idaho. And then we're going to head south through the west, across Texas, down to Florida. From Florida up through the states, the East Coast. And then from the East Coast heading back, we'll go back through Chicago and Des Moines or wherever else that they want to route us. But it's going to be pretty easy. And I'll be home like 3 nights a week. So, and I like the person. She's great. She's really,
That's awesome.
And, you know, it's like, actually, I would love to have, I don't have it loaded up, but I have a comedy bit that we did on the show. That you've got to see this. I'll play it next week. Basically the setup of it is these 2 chicks in Florida get a call from me, but not me, my alter ego, so to speak. And I'm looking to hire a bunch of women to come up here and entertain some of my friends for a weekend. And they had some guy who's like, I don't know where they found him, like in the middle of Iowa. Whoever wanted to cast him, I don't know where he came from, but apparently he didn't like I got him upset because I think I said a few fucks and a couple of goddams, and he was like trying to suck up to the girls. Like, I don't know what he was doing. He's just some old burnout, thought he was maybe going to get lucky with them is all I can figure.
Yeah.
Like, I hate to say it, but neither one of those girls wanted to give him the time of day. It's just not, he's not their type. I'll put it that way. I could see that from 100 miles away. Both of those women would have chewed him up and spit him out, man. He's not used to something like these two. They would have whipped his ass into submission is all I can tell you. Anyhow, it caused scandal. The one girl, her husband, didn't like the bit either. But the truth is, it's just seriously funny, man. I mean,
nice.
I had people calling me asking me if I was really trying to get some women.
Oh, really?
Oh my God!
I thought it was real.
I said to him, I go, "What do you think? What kind of animal do you think I am?" And they're like, "I don't know. You might be questionable."
Yeah, I mean,
I had my younger days, but I always figured if you got to go out and pay for it, you're kind of lame anyway, man. You're playing a rock band and you're not buying it. Get the hell
that's
out of here.
true. That's true.
That's just
that's
lame.
True.
You got no game. That's half
true.
the reason people get into music. It's a courting ritual, a mating display, if you will.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
Like, I mean, there's all kinds of theories about musicians. Some of the Eastern religion kind of guys say that we're profoundly insecure and that we play to reassure ourselves that the world is okay. That's one way to look at it.
Listen, even like if you're decent at what you do, like and you're fairly attractive. Oh, you're fine. Yeah, you're fine. You're good to go. Like, just show up at your shows and kick ass.
Oh man, I'm trying to think of this. There's this comedian. She's a blonde chick, kind of a big girl. Not Lisa Lampanelli, man. I'm really sad about Lisa. She's like,
I
she's
love
gone
her.
all woke, and she used to be like really great and funny. Now she's just angry. The last couple of shows I watched, her show is a podcast like mine. I felt bad. I was like, really? You could do like so much better than this. She had these two goobs for production that were just like lame. Hint, hint, if you need a better producer, call me. I can help you out. Things suck, man. It was like, sorry guys, probably your first gig, but man, it looked like it. So, don't take my words to heart. Go back and work on it a little bit. You've got some churching up to do. Not that I don't, but I'm a heathen, so at the end of the day, I just tell you what. Somebody was talking about how somebody got mad at someone about something political. And it was just like hilarious to watch this person kind of attack somebody who's mildly political at best, like middle of the road person. I don't get it. People are crazy these days. I don't know. Until like the past 5 years, I've never had any friends or anything who fight over politics. But now it's like all people do. They sit around, they bitch, and they yell at each other.
If people would spend less time talking and more time learning about the shit that they're going to talk about, like things would be a lot easier on everybody.
And if you can just have some basic manners, like I hold the door for people, all these things that now are whoever thinks that a guy holding a door or a woman holding a door for a guy, if somebody holds the door for me, man, woman, beast, fish, reptile, I will say thank you and hold it for
exactly.
them. It's just common courtesy. There's a lot of folks like to be offended, and I'm offended that they're offended. And because they're offended, I'm going to be super offended, and I'm going to write my congressman. That's what I'm going to do. But here's a great story. If anybody's thinking this weekend and they need a tasty Arby's dinner, a nice like roast beef with some horsey sauce, well, just think about this dead body found inside the Arby's freezer. And this
where?
In where of all places? New Iberia, Louisiana. Now that is what you call a shithole. Sorry. I mean, that is like it's one of those tiny Arby's that they put in the high crime districts because they know it's going to get wrecked in another year or so. It's just inevitable down there. And I hate to say it, but one of the employees or somebody threw a stiff in the freezer.
Holy shit.
Working in fast food is such a... I put my hat up. So many women and raise their family working their ass off in a fast food place, end up the manager of a store and end up with a life. I've seen it happen more than once. When I worked at Muzak, I had a friend of mine who's one of the best salesmen I know, and she was a McDonald's sales lady She started at the counter, ended up becoming the manager, then a district manager, and worked her way up through the corporate. Well, then she came to work for Muzak, and because she was like this big cheese with McDonald's, she knew thousands of these women just like her. Tough, scrappy broads who got divorced because they had some asshole husband, and they had to make a living. And Nandina kicked ass. Well, then Muzak gave her complete control over all of the sales operations where we'd sell them drive-in timers, which is something they terrorize the poor employees with. Measures, clocks ticking the whole time. You think you're already spazzing out, juggling fries and flipping shit out, and people are throwing crap in the window. You know, I mean, Louisiana, people do shit like ride up and throw an alligator in the window. That's kind of a Florida thing, too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now, up here in New Jersey, that would be something exotic. That would make the paper. In Florida, it's just like a couple of crackers acting stupid, you know. They got into the moonshine early on Friday and just went downhill from there. Next thing you know, they're calling their cousins up, coming over for the weekend. And you bring Jenny Lou, she's getting big. She's got to meet the rest of the family. It's a lot different here in Jersey than it is down south.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever been down there? Have you?
Yeah, because I went touring through there like a couple times, like, you know, and so it's like you see all sorts of shit, you know, like all. That's what I always said that to, like, you know, I have plenty of friends who immigrated from other countries,
right? And
you know, they ask about the South, and I'm like, listen, some parts of the South I would never take you to ever, because it's a real thing. Like there's some
folks who are just not going to see things the way you do.
Yeah,
no matter what you do,
and they won't think fucking twice about popping you off and throw you in the freezer at Arby's.
Yep, that's it. And before you know it, some guy's sitting there with horsey sauce ready to take you home and serve it with the family reunion.
Yeah,
there was
a
show
thing.
On one of these shows where this broad was a psycho. She killed her husband. She had a boyfriend, of course. There's always the love triangle going on. And she killed her husband, and she barbecued him up and served him to the neighbors. It was like these people, like a week later, the cops found out what they'd eaten. And they were all like, I thought it tasted funny. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. That is just so gross, man. Oh, man. Talk about having emotional disturbances for the rest of your life.
That's horrible.
I'd be like moving up I'd be moving to Alaska, where I'm like thousands of miles away from anybody, and have a shotgun in the house, you know? I mean, after that kind of crap, I'll say that's one thing about New Jersey. We don't have too many of those like real psycho killers, you know? It's
yeah,
like
no. We just have a bunch of like middle of the road fucked up people.
What we've got is armies of crackheads and you know, just basic junkies riding around. They come down to Middletown, pick up a Mercedes, and you know they sell it for $1,000.
Yeah, this is true.
car.
This is true.
And then you
Jersey's
drive it down
on
to
the
Newark.
route. Yep.
Bring it onto a little boat, and they drive it down to Haiti, and you figure they paid $1,000 for it, and they sell it to some government official in Haiti. He gets a Mercedes SL80 or whatever, and it's like a god-awful killer car, but he pays like $2,000 for it.
Yeah.
And that's where all of our aid money goes, down there anyway. Yeah. It's like, I always say I'm not going to talk about politics. This is proof I'm going to have to run against Biden this term. It's down to it. I can't do any worse.
Listen, if you ever need anyone in your office, you can count me in. I'd be in.
Well, we're going to put together a team. We've got to we've had enough of this. It's time to clean this shit up.
Yeah.
We're going to get roadies to run all the airports. Somebody already thought of that. It was a great ad. If advertising thinks of it, it might be a good idea. They showed all the airports taken over by rock and roll tour guys. They're out there with their walkie-talkies swearing at each other. Now hurry it up, get that shit off the stage. But everything was moving, as it should.
Yeah.
Because I still say, if you can figure out how to build a rock and roll tour and keep it and make it profitable and go out on the road and make money with it, you're a bad motherfucker. And you know, not everybody can do that. And I think it's mighty cool, you know. So we've got the body here. It says the cops swarmed the place. Let's see. Oh, this is great. This is a typical police. This is why we have to fix things. The New Iberia Police Force responded to the business of Arby's located on East Admiral Doyle Drive at approximately 6:20 in reference to a body found in the freezer. The death is suspicious and is being investigated. Some stellar police work there, Barney. I think we give him his gun, his little bullet. Here you go, Barney.
Nice.
Put this in there. You can carry it for wherever
Awesome.
you go. We'll get Barney a hooker, you know.
Yeah, seriously.
Barney Fife.
Make his badge extra shiny.
So what time are you playing tomorrow?
1 to 5.
Wow,
So
that's
we're
good banker's hours.
Oh yeah. We're going hard. We have 3 sets. 3
Good.
sets of exciting shit. Yep.
Very
Yep.
cool.
Where like we added Barry sax, and I am.
Yeah.
We added a Jethro Tull tune, which
Oh, cool. You
is
can play the
what.
shit out of the flute on.
That's right. Yep.
What song?
So, Locomotive Breath.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. It's
I can
going
play
down
that.
tomorrow. It's going down.
Down.
Yep. It's going down.
Great song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about you the other day when I was driving in the car and I was reading your band thing coming up and the big horn and all that. I can't wait to see y'all. Really do.
Yeah.
So it's almost that time to depart. And I don't see any more good news here worth reporting. I think the seas are going to part tonight. We're all going to wake up richer and better and sexier and stronger and like PF Flyers. It'll run faster and jump higher by Monday.
Nice.
And if not,
Nice.
we'll have a good time. I can leap over
Yeah.
small children in a single drunken bound, you know?
Yeah, it probably won't be worse than today. So I mean, that's what's up.
I mean, no, there's not much that can happen. By this time of day on Friday, I've talked to anybody who I want to talk to. And if anybody calls after this time of day, they have a special alarm, so I'll know who it is.
Yeah.
Like, I used to
Nice.
have my ex-wife, I had the air raid siren go off. It just added a nice touch at dinner when you'd hear the nuclear, the thing. Oh, yeah, I used to have fun with that. But,
Nice.
you got to have a little fun with the ex once in a while, especially if they don't have much sense of humor. That was kind of part of the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, it happens.
I know that I am an equal opportunity offender, so I can understand that she might have been a little frightened.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've done my fair share of scaring people off. They're like,
I know.
just by being me. Just
sometimes
by being me.
that's like a cover
Like-
charge. It just weeds out the undesirables anyway.
It weeds out the people who can't hang. No.
Yeah, you can find it. You can kind of tell now. I mean, at my age, I can just tell from the get-go. I can tell from you. You're a long hauler, man. You don't give up easy. I know that. You've been in a rock and roll band long enough that that kind of that's what separates the men from the boys or the ladies from the real bitches who win. I always tell women, man, if you're gonna go out there, play with the boys, you got to fight like a dude, and then
That's
you
right.
get respect. Because if you
That's
don't,
right.
I told my
That's
daughters
right.
that all the time. I said, if you try to get by on your looks, you can. But
Yeah,
none of
but
the guys
it
will take
won't
you
mean
seriously.
shit. Yeah, exactly. It's not like going in like a boss. It's not the same thing.
No, it's not.
No.
And you'll have all kind of problems. And
Yeah.
I'm lucky. Both of my kids are bright and smart, and they got good taste. Thank God.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Both of them had to kiss a few toads, so that shit happened.
Yeah, live and learn,
I'm not going to say anything about kissing toads. It might have been even goddamn monitor lizards. I don't know. It has to be strong in the 70s. What do I know? So, our last bit before we go, our new opening band will be joining us for the rest of the summer. We have the talented and amazing Fulu Miziki here. We're going to be bringing them over.
I was grooving.
I've got a what do you call it? A storage place that I'm going to rent for them. They'll be living down there. We got a portalette
Excellent.
set up. They're going to be doing the barbecued goat out in the parking lot. It's going to be really cool. We're going to have an actual
Nice.
Kongan village set up here in Middletown, New Jersey.
Nice.
I'm going to bring a couple of camels in and serve refreshments, and then we'll tickets, someplace to bring the kids. Come on down to Monkey World or whatever. If it makes a buck,
Nice.
we're there. That's it, man. How much points can we make on this deal? That's all I want to know.
Yeah.
So I guess we're going to get out of here. We've had enough Fulu Miziki, and so bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Have a
Happy
good weekend.
Friday.
Happy
Woo!
Friday, and we'll see you next week.
Nice.
Next week, we'll be returning to Facebook, so if you've been missing us, we missed you too.
Yep, that's
All
what's
those
up.
millions of dollars rolling in, man. I'm really missing them. They're just spunning me out. You guys got to get on the stick. Ding, ding. Bye-bye. Let's see.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live.